My name is Jeff Funk, and I'm the author of Unicorns, Hype, and Bubbles, which just hit the bookstores a couple of days ago. I have been involved with technology for almost 50 years, starting with a bachelor's in physics, worked in a semiconductor factory, got my PhD in engineering from Carnegie Mellon, and then did a lot of other jobs. Probably where I first started learning about the things that I write about in this book was about 25 years ago when I was involved with the mobile internet in Japan. Japan was the only country, was the first country to succeed. Korea was the second. It took many years, about 5, 10 years later before the U.S. and European markets succeeded. One of the things I learned was that App Store helps. That was in Japan long before Steve Jobs did it. I then moved to National University of Singapore, where I taught a course on the economics of new technologies. And that's when I became a pessimist because I began to look at the economics of these new technologies that were being hyped for years. And I began to notice that a lot of them weren't doing as well as that people claimed. Then I started to notice that startups were losing a lot of money in the mid 2010s, and gradually became a pessimist. So those of you who follow me on LinkedIn know that I am critical of the hype about a lot of technologies, particularly about AI now. What people forget is that there was a big startup bubble in 2021. All these publicly traded ex unicorns had really high values. They all dropped in 2022. And it looked like the tech sector was in deep trouble until in 2023, everybody began to hype generative AI. And now, of course, it's the stock values, the market capitalizations for the Magnificent Seven are about 10 trillion times more than they were at the beginning of 2023. That dwarfs what I called the big startup bubble of several trillion for the publicly traded unicorns, 3.5 trillion for the privately traded unicorns. But in total, we've got a lot of money here. That's a big bubble. And I talk a lot about this. I talk about the bubble. I talk about false signals. I talk about all the reasons for the big startup losses. So a lot of startups tried to commercialize tech, what I call tech-like businesses that never had a chance or a very small chance. Then there were startups that commercialized technology-based businesses, so those had a bigger chance. But the problem is that they assumed that the main market would emerge very quickly. So there'd be this rapid diffusion, rapid improvements would lead to this rapid diffusion. It didn't happen. So the most successful technologies are ones such as wearables, Apple Watch, Starlink, where the suppliers have targeted some niches, and those niches are doing well. But there isn't going to be some mass market diffusion very quickly. There isn't going to be the same in AI. So the key is to think about, find those first users, second users, and third users. This is what I talk about in my book. Thanks for your time.